These acts of violence hurt our whole community, and they are also in direct contrast to the message ringing from the streets that Black Lives Matter. I will continue to refocus our energy on the hard but critical work to answer the voices demonstrating and demanding change, to reimagine with Chief Best what policing looks like in our city, and to invest in the true health and safety of our communities. No city, including Seattle, will dismantle centuries of systemic racism overnight. But we must act now. We must answer to history. I said from the onset that Capitol Hill has a rich history of being at the epicenter of protests and change. I marched and participated in many events on Capitol Hill, particularly for LGBTQ rights. Capitol Hill is the heart of the gay community. Cal Anderson Park is named for the first openly gay state legislator, and East Barbara Bailey Way that leads to the park is named for Barbara Bailey, a lifetime community leader and friend. But now that space has a new and shared history of civil rights. There is no question we must find a way to memorialize that history that has transpired there over the last month. Our parks and arts departments are actively working with the individuals who are maintaining the community garden and with artists to preserve their work. But we will also engage community, residents, and businesses on how we can memorialize the protests in the public realm, such as a new garden, a speaker's corner, or new art. For the many arrests this morning, I believe charges should not be filed against the individuals arrested only for misdemeanor obstruction, failure to disperse, or trespassing. I fully support SPD's operations this morning, and the arrests and bookings were appropriate. But as we move forward in healing, alternatives to charging and criminal sanctions are also important.